Hi everyone, hope you're doing good and having a great week. To all my returning subscribers, thank you for your support. And to all our viewers and those recently subscribed, thank you and welcome to this channel. On my last visit to Emma Roberts, a coin store in Sydney of New South Wales, they had some PNCs on sale, so I took the opportunity to add these 4 PNCs here to my collection. These PNCs were released in 2013 and they feature native birds that can be found in Australia. This series of PNCs have been known by a number of names. They are sometimes referred to as the Australian Kingfisher series or the Australian Native Bird series, but more typically they are often referred to as the Australian Songbirds PNC series. These PNCs are a joint issue between Australian Post and the Perth Mint. The Perth Mint are minting these colour coins over here and issuing them for the island country of Tuvalu. For this video, we're going to take a look at the design and specifications of the coins before taking a look at all the PNCs here in turn. But before we get into this, please leave me a like if you enjoy this sort of content and don't forget to share and subscribe. So, let's get into it. Alright, I will start by quickly going through the specifications of these $1 coins. These coins are minted in aluminium bronze. They have a weight of 13.8 grams, a diameter of 30.6 millimeter, and a thickness of approximately 3.1 millimeter with a fully riveted edge. Next, we'll go through the design on the obverse, which is the same for all 4 coins in the series. On the obverse, we can see the 4th portrait of the Queen by Ian Rank Broadley. You can see his initials, IRB, just over here at the base of her neck. And above the portrait, we can see the name of the Queen, Queen Elizabeth II. And right below the image, we have the face value of $1, the country of issue, which is the island country of Tuvalu, and the year of issue 2013, which is the same for all 4 coins in this series. Right, let's move along now and take a look at the first PNC of the series. This is the Striated Pardalote, a native Australian bird that can be found in many parts of Australia. Now, if we look at the postmark over here, you can see that this PNC is dated the 11th of May 2013 and is from Melbourne of Victoria. And this is the 9th issue of PNCs for the year 2013. Right on the front of the envelope, we can see this very beautiful illustration of the Pardalote. And if we take a closer look at the stamp, which has a value of $3, the image of the Pardalote here is repeated on the reverse of the coin. This is the same for all 4 PNCs in the series. All 4 PNCs, if you look at the postmark, will also have the outline of the bird that is featured on the PNC. Just on the back, we have some information about the Pardalote. And right over here, I'd just like to draw your attention to the first line. We can see that the stamp and inside card illustration was done by Christopher Pope. Now, there are no information about who the designer of the colored reverse of all 4 coins in this series, but by taking a look at the first line on the back of the envelopes of all 4 PNCs of this series, I can make an educated guess that the designer of the reverse of all 4 coins in this series is Christopher Pope. Here's the card which I've removed from the envelope, and on the other side you can see the technical specifications as well as the name of the mint, the Perth Mint. Do note that the coin is in uncirculated finish and there are no mintage numbers available for all 4 coins that have been produced for this series. Right on the back, we can see this very beautiful illustration of the Pardalote. Alright, here we are closed in on the reverse of the coin, and on it you can see this very beautiful illustration of a colored Pardalote perched on a branch. And right next to it, we can see the numerical value of the coin, $1. And right above that, we have the name of the bird, both in its common name as well as its scientific name, Striated Pardalote or Pardalotus striatus. As I mentioned just now, there are no indication or information about who the designer of the reverse of the coins is. And as you can see on the reverse, there are no initials that you can see to identify who the designer is, nor is there the Perth Mint P-letter mintmark to indicate the mint that produced this coin. Irregardless of that, let's just move on now with the second PNC of this series. This is the Australian Shelduck, also known as the Australian Mountain Duck, and this PNC was also issued on the 11th of May 2013. If you look at the postmark, this PNC came from Melbourne of Victoria, and this is the 10th PNC for 2013. Right on the front of the PNC, we can see this illustration of the Shelduck, and as you can see on the stamp and on the coin, the design of both is the same. The stamp has a value of $1.65, and right on the back of the PNC, you can see a little bit of information about the Australian Shelduck. Again, if I like to draw your attention to the top line over here, we can see that the stamp and inside card illustration was done by Christopher Pope. Here's a quick look at the card, which I've removed from the envelope. This is the overside, and right on the reverse, we can see this beautiful image of an Australian Shelduck. Here's a closer look at the reverse of the coin, and on it you can see this very beautiful illustration of a coloured Australian Shelduck walking along the water edge. Just above here we have the numerical value of the coin, $1, and right above again we have the common name and the scientific name of the Shelduck. Just over here it reads Australian Shelduck, while over here it reads Tardona tardonoides. Let's keep moving along and take a look at the third PNC of this series. This is the yellow-billed Kingfisher, and this bird is typically found in the northern part of Australia near the Cape York Peninsula. I think among all the 4 PNCs that have been released for this series, this is probably my favorite. A very beautiful illustration on the front of the PNC. And if you look at the postmark, you can see that it's dated the 3rd of September 2013. Again, the illustration of this stamp, a $3 stamp, is repeated on the reverse of the coin. And if you look at the back, you can see that this is issue number 16 for 2013. On the back of the envelope, we have just a little bit of information about the yellow-billed Kingfisher. And again, I'd like to draw your attention to the top line over here. The designer of the stamp, coin, and inside card illustration is Christopher Pope. I've taken the card out from the envelope, and here's the overside with the technical specifications of the coin. And here's the reverse side with the image of the card here repeated on the reverse of the coin. Here's a close-up on the reverse of the coin, and on it you can see a colored kingfisher perched on a tree. Just over here we have the numerical value of the coin, $1, and right above again we have the common name and the scientific name of the bird. Over here it says yellow-billed kingfisher, while over here it reads Sima toro toro. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Although the design of the PNC is quite beautiful, unfortunately the design of the coin could have been done a little bit better, especially for the color. I guess if the color was brighter, the coin would be a lot nicer. Well, that's just my opinion about the coin. Anyway, let's just move on now and take a look at the final PNC of this series. This is the Australian green catbird, part of the bowerbirds family. And this PNC here is unusually titled Australian Songbirds. I can see why this series has led to some confusion regarding the name of the series, because the title of the PNCs sometimes differs from the name of the birds that have been featured in the PNC. Anyway, here's the front of the envelope. And on the postmark, we can see that this postmark is dated 3rd of September 2013 and is from Melbourne of Victoria. The stamp has a value of 55 cents, and the image of the stamp is repeated on the coin. This PNC is issue number 17, which is the final issue of this series for 2013. And on the back of the envelope, we can see some information about the Australian green catbird. And again, on the top line here, we can see the designer of the illustration on the stamp, the coin, and the inside card is Christopher Pope. I neglected to mention that all 4 PNC has a recommended retail price of $15.95. Although I purchased all 4 PNCs here from MR Roberts at a sale price, and I paid just $7.50 for each of these PNCs. Alright, so here's the card out from the envelope, and this is the other side. And just over here, we have the reverse side. Here's a closer look at the reverse of the final coin of the series. And on the reverse, we can see this green catbird perched on a tree. And just over here, we have the numerical value of the coin, $1. And right above, the common name and the scientific name of the bird. Over here, it reads green catbird. And here, the scientific name is a name that I find it extremely difficult to pronounce, but I'll do my best. And it reads Aegiodorus cassirotris. My apologies to any scientists watching this video if I'm butchering that name. Anyway, with the completion of the review of this final coin, we have completed the review of all 4 PNCs of this Songbird series. Before I end this video, let me share with you my final thoughts. These 4 PNCs here were on sale at Ebba Roberts, and I was really happy to come across them when I visited the store. Looking at the design of these PNCs here, I think they are done really well. And comparing to all the other PNCs that I have in my collection, the series that I have in my collection, this is probably my second favorite series now, after the first Bush Baby series. However, I think that the Perth Mint could have done a better job with the colors of the coins over here. The colors could have been brighter, and if not only for that reason, I wouldn't have purchased these PNC here if they have not been on sale at Emma Roberts. Despite all of that, I do enjoy looking at these PNCs, and I'm really happy to have them in my collection. With that, I guess that will do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed learning about this 2013 Australian PNCs, which were issued to celebrate the native births of Australia. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, don't forget to leave me a like if you have enjoyed this content, and be sure to hit that share and subscribe buttons down here if you have not done so. As always, from all my friends here, you all please take care, be safe, and have a nice day.
Mm-hmm.